Hey, what's up people? I hope you all are doing good. This is StudyIQ. I'm Prashant Mamani. Date today is 28th September. Is there anything special about this date? Yes, it is. It is birthday of one of the most courageous men I have ever known. Yes, he is Bhagat Singh. He is 110 today. He was born on this day in 1907 in Banga village. Dear friends, whenever we talk about Bhagat Singh or whenever we hear his name, the first thing that comes into our mind is courage, patriotism, isn't it? Now let me tell you a small story about, and this is in fact it is a story. It is not only a story. When I say story, I mean to say that this is a sort of real incident that took place. Now we know that Bhagat Singh was in jail in his last day when he was knowing that he was going to be hanged a couple of days earlier than the official date, because of the situation that was going on around in the country at that point of time. Anyways, so he was reading a book, and the jailer came in. He informed Bhagat that time is up. He has to leave. He has to leave whatever he's doing, and he has to prepare himself because the appointment with gallows was fixed. Now at this point of time, you can imagine that if there would be any other man, right, then he would be weeping and crying that he is going to lose his life, because you can understand he was just 23 years old, isn't it? He has, you can say, just started living his life. He was in a very tender age, we must say. So rather than doing all this thing, of course we are talking about Bhagat Singh, so we know that we are not going to see that sort of attitude here. But he was reading a book, and he requested the jailer that let me finish this last few pages, because I'm about to finish this chapter. Once we are done with this chapter, I'm more than happy to come with you wherever you ask me to. So of course the jailer, everyone was knowing him, everyone was knowing what Bhagat Singh is all about. So the jailer said, yes, that's fine, you can take your time, you finish the chapter and we will go. So he finished his chapter, and one of the most interesting thing, right, this is the most I haven't seen anything when it comes to courage. I haven't seen anything like this before. I never heard anything like this before. And what he did, Bhagat Singh, he left a bookmark. In the book, as suppose he is going to come back. He was knowing that he is going to be hanged, but then as well he left a bookmark, as he was suppose like he was going to come back and start reading again. He left the book on the side. With all respect, he was calm and composed, and he said, let's go. This is one of the most courageous story I have ever heard, and I thought I should share this with you all, because remember, you cannot fake it, right? It is, if you are trying to say, for example, pretend that you are courageous or fearless for a couple of minutes, it's going to work. But when you know that you are about to die, when you know that you are about to be hanged, at that point of time, if you are this calm and composed, then it is nothing like it. That means you are truly a fearless person, or you can say not fearless, but I would rather say courageous, because there is a difference. Anyways, so this is a story, and I think I thought that I should share this with you all. It will motivate all of you, and of course from the whole family of StudyIQ, in which you are included as well. I wish a very happy birthday to our dear Bhagat Singh ji. Let's crack on, dear friends. And before moving ahead, as I told you earlier as well, and I am going to tell you today, because the thing is 29th September is tomorrow, right? We have got only one day, and you are getting what, 30% discount on pen drive and tablet courses, right? StudyIQ has different pen drive and tablet courses for SSC, Bank, UPSC, IAS exams, right, and government exams as well. With UPSC, we have just launched a test series as well, right? And of course, this 30% is available on this test series as well. So dear friends, if you don't have it, I would request all of you to make the most out of this 30%. And if you have any further queries, feel free to give us a call on this number, or you can check out our website as well. So let's crack on. Prime Minister's office. Now yesterday we talked about Pragati. You know now that Pragati takes place in the last Wednesday of the month, isn't it? And yesterday when we were chatting about this PIB, when we were analyzing it, at that point of time the news were just coming in, so it was not ripe at that point. Yesterday when we were talking, at that point of time it was not ripe. And whenever you see, say for example, if you hear something early in the morning, then give some time for that news to ripe it up a little bit, you know. By afternoon you will come to know the whole story behind it, because you will have a good analysis, that there would be confirmation and everything would be done with it. So we should give some time as well, many a times, to find out what exactly is going on. So on this Pragati platform, Prime Minister expressed his concern regarding GST Network. He said that everything should be sorted out as soon as possible. Apart from that, he also said that we have to take on board all the small businessmen as well, because once they are registered with the GST Network, they will be able to reap benefits of this GST, goods and service tax. Now the other thing that I would like to say here is that GST Network is basically a sort of online platform on which you can pay your goods and service tax return. You have to do it every month. At present, the thing is, this GST Network is basically not working properly, and there is a sort of committee who is looking after it, and they have promised that they are going to sort it out, right? There are a couple of ministers who are working on it, and they have promised that they are going to sort it out as soon as possible. So I'm sure that it is in safe hands, and it will be sorted out, no doubt about it, because government is very serious about this goods and service GST Network. At the same time, in the same news, Prime Minister also talked about, or he said that we should make efforts towards making our economy less cash economy, or in the sense you can say that making our society as a less cash society. What we can do about it? We have to encourage digital payments. And when we talk about digital payment, then one of the most important thing that I can see, about which Prime Minister, he also mentioned this thing, and it is important for all of us to know some bits and pieces, or some basic information regarding this RuPay. What is RuPay all about? RuPay is a sort of debit card. Right now, RuPay stands for, it is a short form of rupee and payment. Together it is Ru and Pay, right? Very simple to understand. Now the thing is, RuPay cards are given, or you get a RuPay card when you open a sort of Jan Dhan account. Now Jan Dhan account, you know that it is for financial inclusion of poor people. Now when you provide them with a debit card, the good thing is that they don't have to carry cash. If they go to any place, say for example if they are traveling in a train, and we know that this pickpocketing takes place on the train and other crowded areas, so at that point of time they won't lose anything. This is a sort of safe thing. Apart from that, they can have access to ATMs just like you and I, so it gives them confidence as well, you know. They don't have to carry cash all the time. Earlier it was a big headache. So in this sense, RuPay is a sort of life game changer for poor people, particularly for poor people. And it is not that it is only the poor people who are using it, not at all. You and I, everyone. In fact, I do have a RuPay card as well. Any bank, if you go there and if you ask them to give you a RuPay one, they will give you one, right? It is basically a sort of Indian version of this credit and debit card. And you know that you have heard about this MasterCard, Visa card, and American Express, and there are others as well. So in the same way, India has its own RuPay card. Now it is National Payments Corporation of India that bought this thing RuPay out, and the main aim is integration of payment systems in the country. Now there is one more thing that I would like you guys to pay attention here, and that is, this is, let me tell you, this is pure GK I'm talking about. This EMV is a GK thing. GK means general knowledge. Generally we talk about general studies, isn't it? GS. When I say GS, then you have some background theory, you have either history in it, or you have a sort of polity or economy or geography in it. But here it's nothing like that. It is all about mugging up this thing, right? So please remember that EMV, when it comes to this digital payment, or when you talk about chip that you have on your card, then it is EMV, that is Europay, MasterCard and Visa, right? This is a sort of techno chip that is named EMV, so keep this in mind. Now, benefits of RuPay in particular is about lower transaction cost. Of course, it is in India, so naturally it is going to be reasonable in price. I won't use the word cheap, I would rather use the word reasonable, right? It is reasonable when we compare it with the international transactions like American Express or this Visa or Master, etc. So everyone can afford it. So this is the beauty of RuPay. Now coming to government e-marketplace. Now before moving ahead on this item, let me tell you that there are two things which I believe you may get confusion, or you may confuse yourself with. One is JAM, right? JAM stands for Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile. So this one is JAM. Then you have another thing called ENAM, ENAM. ENAM stands for Electronic National Agriculture Market, and the third thing is GEM, that is GEM, right? GEM stands for Government E-Marketplace. Now what GEM is all about, let me tell you. Let me give you a small example. Now you know that for the longest time in India, the government, whenever government is procuring anything, that means purchasing anything from private players, then you know that you should either be a sort of relative of any person. You should have basically good contacts, right? We use this, the most simple terminology that we use in our daily life. Do you have contacts? Do you know someone in ministry, etc., etc.? So this was the case. What used to happen is that low quality products, high prices, end of the day it is our tax, our hard-earned money on which we pay tax, and this one was being looted by people in power. But by introduction of GEM, that is GEM, that is Government E-Marketplace, what happens now, that if central government, remember I'm talking about central government, I'm not talking about state governments. When it comes to states, it is not mandatory. It is not mandatory for them to follow this thing. It is discretionary. They can either follow it or they cannot, and the states who are not following it, Prime Minister has basically urged the chief secretaries of all the states that are not using this GEM platform to use it as soon as possible, adopt this GEM as soon as possible. And the reason why he's saying this is because on GEM, if say for example government wants to buy laptops, right, central government is in need of laptops, so it will advertise it that we need, say for example, 50 laptops. Now if you are dealing with laptops, what you have to do is you will have description like these are the things required, etc., etc. What you have to do is you have to fill up the form, you have to register yourself on this platform ENAM, so you are a sort of seller, and once you identify that the product that you are dealing with, of course you will get notification as well, but let me finish this example first. So when you find that this thing is advertised by the government, they are in need of laptops, so you can quote your price, you can provide your quotation to government, and if government finds it, there is a sort of tender system, e-bidding will take place, and if your price, your quality, everything is fine, then government may give you a sort of order to provide that laptop. Money would be of course digitally paid, everything is digital, no paperwork, billing, everything would be digital. So in this way transparency would be maintained, that nexus between this nepotism and the nexus of politician and businessman will end from this thing. The other thing is that it also, as I told you, transparency, and apart from that efficiency as well, and everything would be available for everyone. If you say for example, if you are dealing with laptop, if you have filled up the form, etc., then whenever government is looking for laptops or anything related with it, you will be notified either via SMS or via a sort of email. So this is the beauty of it. Transparency is maintained in this way, and that's how it should work, isn't it? That's how any government should work in a sort of democratic setup. Moving on to another item, it is about Cabinet Committee on Security. Now, the most unique thing about CCS of our country is that we have two lady member in it, isn't it? We have one is Honorable Minister of External Affairs Sushma Swaraj, and we also have again Honorable Minister of Defense, that is Nirmala Sitharaman ji. So both of them, very proud that we are having two ladies in Cabinet Committee on Security. Hooray! So basically it has decided, this CCS has decided that it is going to launch a scheme through which it is going to modernize the state police forces in next 3 years. It is going to work on internal security, law and order, women's security, weapons procurement, that means purchasing. Procurement stands for purchasing or acquiring, and hiring of helicopters and other requirements, right? These are the things that are going to be done. Now, left-wing extremism area, affected area, we have 35 districts, and for this 35 districts, government is going to allocate 3,000 crore rupees to ensure that all the necessary gears are with police or CRPF or paramilitary forces when they are dealing with these people of left-wing extremist people. And 100 crore rupees is going to be given to northeastern states for infrastructure development, for upgradation and things like that. Now, about police we have talked about a lot. I have provided you a sort of a detailed analysis, and we have also used experiences and examples from Julio Ribeiro's book, isn't it? So we have talked about it. I told you at that point of time, and for the new listeners I would like to just provide a food for thought, and that is that you may give latest uniform, you may give the best class cars and guns and digital items, like you can provide policemen with new gadgets and everything, but if they are not allowed to make a decision, if they are not allowed to make impartial decision, if they are not threatened with transfer and things like that, until and unless this is not sorted out, if they are not provided a sort of independence, then we are not going to find any sort of change. This technologies and everything will look nice, but it won't work if the main person, the main human being is not free. Union Home Minister again, and something related with Home Ministry, and on the 13th Foundation Day of National Disaster, he has said that hydrological data should be shared between all the countries around the world. And basically, when there is too much water in Brahmaputra, then it is duty of China to inform us. In the same way, it is our duty to inform Bangladesh. So this is an example. And last one is regarding Defense Ministry and INS Garibal. There is a sort of relief material operation going on, Operation Insaniyat. We are trying to help out Bangladesh because they are facing Rohingya refugee crisis over there. So a 7,000 ton of rice, rice, pulses, sugar, biscuits, tea, soaps and mosquito nets, everything, this thing was transported and supplied to Bangladesh by India via this, with the help of this INS Gariwal. And remember, it is High Commissioner. You know the story behind it, isn't it? We use ambassadors for altogether different countries, and we use High Commissioner for different countries as well, because they were the countries that are part of Commonwealth. Over there, the main person that is from India is the main diplomat or ambassador. We don't say ambassador, we say High Commissioner in Commonwealth countries. I have 4 items for you here, right? Pragati, you have to provide full form. If you know something more about it, feel free to share it with all of us. Pencil, Hriday, Limau, what is Limau all about? Do share a couple of lines, right? 1 or 2 lines, and I'll make sure that I go through them. Sunda Strait connects which 2 water bodies? Is one ocean and one sea? Are there 2 C's or whatever it is, but you have to name it as well. With this, dear friends, don't forget to get the maximum out of this 30% discount. Download this lecture from our website or Telegram channel. Subscribe, share, like, pass your answers, comment. With this, good night. Jai Hind.